Hi, everyone. You're joining us on a ship called Relation. Brittany's out today. Playing the part of her will be Chris Musto. With me is Brittany.
Hi.
And Ryan.
Hello.
I'm ready now.
And we had a slight satellite delay there with Brittany phoning in from the right couch cushion.
Yes.
And today we're going to be talking about relationships that fail, because a lot of them do. And they're kind of what make us who we are. And we're going to be kind of discussing what we can take from those to kind of pick up the pieces. I know you listen to a lot of really sappy breakup music typically, and if you're like me, you might eat a lot more Taco Bell than normal.
Or lose your hair.
Lose your hair, yep. There it
stress.
is. There it is. Listen, I'm not bashful about it. And,
Or gain some weight.
But we can talk. Is this all
I'm
directed?
talking about myself.
Thanks, Brits. So we're going to talk about what you could take from failed relationships and to kind of move on and make it something that you can grow from. So Ryan, have you had a relationship that's failed?
Yes, I have.
Great. Let's hear more.
So the best one would be probably my first real relationship. We're about 3.5 years together from high school and tried to make it work when I went away to college. Which is shockingly is difficult. Long distance relationships. Who knew? So trust is always a big thing, especially with going away and trying to do things long distance. I'd been cheated on early on, and I let it go until I went away, and then never really. It came up anytime there was an argument. She would be jealous, and I'd be like, "How can you be jealous?"
So
You
got
wanna talk about
cheated
it?
Yes.
on, and then she became jealous.
Well, I always.
It's interesting.
In retrospect, it was always I felt projection. So whenever there was something that she was doing behind my back, I was getting yelled at for it.
Right.
So then afterwards, I found out there was a lot more going on than I was
Of course.
privy to. Shocking again.
Mm-hmm.
So.
So what did you kind of take from that?
What they say. I guess once a cheater, she didn't really change at all, and I was always getting accused of doing things while I was away, and finally that fell apart. And it was just about having to let things go, not bringing up things that always happened in the past, or letting the actual person go, that it just wasn't going to work out. And despite wanting to and trying to make it work as much as we could, you're teenagers, so.
Did you guys have an epic breakup where you
A
threw all of
couple.
your stuff
I mean,
on
it
a
was
lawn? A couple?
there was no one all right, that's it, we're done. It was a very long, drawn out
dragged
process.
out thing until
Yes,
one of you
course.
had
Oh, it was
another
great.
boyfriend or girlfriend.
Well, she did. Cause she did a couple times while we were trying to get back together and lying about it to me.
Seems like she already
We
had
had
another
very similar.
boyfriend.
It must be something in the water and stuff, because we had very similar breakup stories.
a lot
there.
of-
It's interesting.
Maybe it's your guys' fault.
Yeah. Hey, listen. I'm
Well,
not saying I'm a
I
summer
think that's a
pick-
good segue to
Yeah. Hey,
Brittany's.
Brittany.
What have you
Why don't
had
you tell us
failed
about
relationships?
any of your failed relationships?
They're not my fault.
Yes, I'm sure. What,
My relationships don't fail. The people in them fail to please me.
So speaking on behalf of Venus today, will be Brittany. Brittany, tell us what all women on Long Island are thinking about their relationships.
That it's not your fault, ladies. It's probably the other
guy,
one's
right,
fault.
right.
No, I'm just kidding. No, I'm not. No, but seriously, what have I learned?
Apparently a
My
lot.
failed relationships, they really weren't my fault.
Okay,
I'm just saying that.
sure. There's nothing
Maybe
you
some
did?
of them were my fault, like a long time ago, but it wasn't my fault. It was just that I was too young to be in them.
Okay, can I
It
just
was
iterate what you said?
society.
You said maybe some of them were my fault a while ago, but none of them were my fault.
It was
Fault might be.
age.
It's not necessarily trying to put blame on one person for
Right.
everything. It's always a mixed bag.
But what if
people
it is
have.
their
It's
fault?
always sometimes it's just
But
the
there's always
compatibility.
there's some responsibility on both sides. I feel like, even though I was cheated on and stuff, like I tried to make it work, and I always brought it up anytime we were arguing. I was like, "Well, you cheated on me, so leave me alone." Like it,
Right.
I did nothing to move forward and make it better and try and actually leave that in the past. It was always something I had as leverage in a fight.
Right.
That I could always say like, I'm not wrong because you did this 2 years ago.
Right, and that's the thing. It's like the ability to kind of be able to get past things. And again, that whole one of the main things that I learned was that everything is a team. You have to be a team, and sometimes you're gonna get pissed off at your teammate. It's gonna happen, but really you have to be able to pick up the pieces and move on for the betterment of both of you. Sometimes one of you might screw up in worse ways than the other, but at the end of the day, you're committed to making this work. And that's the key term, is commitment. And in my past relationship, it was the same thing. It was incredibly toxic, and it was a train wreck. And it's the old adage that, you know, crazy breeds crazy. And like when things go wrong and you get all stirred up and caught up in it, things get worse and worse, and it spirals out of control. And that's what happened. Like we end up eating each other alive, and we were fighting over nothing. And they were all it quickly
you end up
escalates.
fighting over fights.
You end up fighting over fights, but it quickly escalates to personal. And like, you know, it always comes, you're never going to do better than me. Oh yeah, well watch me, you know, that kind of stuff. And like that, we're fighting over like who left the microwave open, you know? And like,
fighting well is difficult, but important, you know?
That was the key. The key thing I said, I was like, never again do I want to come home with my guard up, feeling like I'm walking into a hostile environment. And like that, no matter what it is, I don't care, whatever, cool down, we'll have a discussion about it. And apparently I got to go to Brittany School of Never Your Fault. And
it's funny because I sort of have that now sometimes still. Like I come home and like I'll be not have my guard up, but I can be snappy. I mean, I'm just tired. We're in a stressful situation. We're working like crazy. We have a baby and stuff. So you know, I come home and I'm exhausted. And why are you snapping? Like, and
oh, honey, the steak is cardboard.
Because
she's home with the baby. I'm sure she's tired, and then you're just gonna walk through the door and snap at her. I start a fight with you too.
Well, I get up and I take care of the baby in the morning while getting ready for work. And then
you want to fight with me about
It's so good because her name's Brittany,
I
and
know.
his wife's name is Brittany too.
I feel like I'm like getting Brittany.
Now she's getting mad. Yeah, now she's getting
I'll be playing the part of Brittany.
You need a life preserver? We need a life preserver on
I feel
set.
like he's gonna start yelling at me.
No,
Snapping at me.
It's hard,
Wrong,
because
Brittany.
it gets one side. It's hard to. That's why what I'm saying is I try and take a step back and relax and calm down, because it's not. I'm exhausted from working. I don't remember my last day off. It's been however long, I know.
Right.
But it's not like she's home and it's a day off. You know, being a mom is a full-time job, and he's an excellent baby. But that still is very stressful. So when I come home and I want to sit down for a minute, and she wants a minute away from the baby, that's my time to cool down. It sounds silly to complain about it, because I absolutely love my son and playing with him. It's like the best thing in the world, and it is great to relax. But you know, if he's crying and she's like, "You need to take him," it's like, all right into it. So sometimes it's a stressful situation.
Can I get a minute?
That's the team thing, where it's like, all right, you know, you need to realize that while can be difficult, you're on the same team. We can bicker and things, but we stay strong together. Which is
I think I feel like a lot of that is like, you know, adding a kid to the mix adds a whole different world of pressure I've never had experience with, so I can only imagine what that must be like. And what about all of your? I'm not gonna say anything about kids to Brittany, because I can just see the face drop like a ghost.
No.
No kids. But any of your relationships, Brittany, what has been has there been a theme to why they kind of ended, or
No.
what was your worst breakup? Let's go with that.
Oh, okay. The guy was a complete sociopath. I didn't even really know
That's
who
speculation,
he was.
by the way.
No,
Leading the witness objection.
it's not. Confirmed by his own mother.
Oh.
So yeah, he was
Licensed doctor,
absolutely
expert
crazy.
witness.
Yeah, I was getting ready to move in with him, and I found out he was just a completely different person than I thought he was, and didn't move, obviously.
Wow.
And had to just start my life over. So not my fault, obviously.
Right.
I guess.
Do you do background checks now?
I did.
Yeah.
I did. That's how
Credit
I found
report?
out he wasn't who he was, because I did a background.
Seriously?
I went on the computer. Yeah.
Wow.
Different name and everything.
Alias?
Yeah, even a fake ID.
You have.
Yeah.
You should write a book.
I
That
attract
is
the
a-
winners.
Wow. So
But-
That's for another episode.
So I guess
to
the
get into
next
that.
episode will be
Yeah.
how Brittany chooses her men,
Or where she finds
or where
them.
she finds them. Yeah. Oh, wow. That's so he completely different alias and everything.
Yeah, it's crazy. But
I will actually
guess,
completely give you that one. Not your fault at all.
That's not your fault. Yeah.
Thank you.
Wow, Brittany. All right.
But I think what I learned from failed relationships is more about myself and what I need and want in the next one.
Like not being
I
turned
don't-
into a jacket by your boyfriend.
Yeah,
That's a
or
big one.
lampshade.
Yeah, exactly.
It puts the
That's
lotion
the
on.
simple. Yeah, that's the simple little things. So that's what you can take from it.
Yeah. So and also just to be more careful and get to know someone before you jump into anything.
Interesting.
Like, you know.
How do you guys feel you can use what you've learned as advice for other people? Because, you know, it's always a great thing to recycle your bad experiences for more than they're worth by trying to, I guess, not enlighten someone, because it always seems to get ignored anyway. You can give people the best advice that this is what's going to happen. Like, no, we're different, and then it happens anyway. But
I would say try not to get your friends involved in your fights and arguments, because sometimes their opinion isn't really a reflection on what's actually going on in your relationship. That's a one-sided opinion, and obviously most of them are gonna, unless they're my friends, then they're gonna stick up for your boyfriend because they like it better than me. But I say try to keep
Next
your friends and family. Keep your friends and family out of it if possible, and just try to work it out like between each other, and then learn about yourself through like failures.
Yeah,
I like that a lot
think that's
because
really-
friends and family so much because they're hearing your side of it.
Yeah.
And so it's already skewed, and family, I'll say, will always side with you.
Yeah.
And
doesn't matter.
when you make a mistake, your family will forgive you. And if you go as a person scorned and venting about how horrible this person is to you, they're going to say to get out of it, and then you're going to try and work it out, and it's always going to be a tarnished relationship between them.
I agree.
And really, I think you hit the nail on the head about with bringing friends into it. I mean, it gives 90% of the time when I'm asking my friends something, it's to get confirmation on something I already know the answer to, but I'm just looking for someone else's opinion, and I have no idea why.
I'm right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, I hope I'm right,
And
right?
then
Am I
they'll
right?
give you their opinion, you're like,
but like, you know
how
the answer
dare
to it,
you?
right? Yeah, and you're like, oh,
not
how
true.
could you say that? No, I'm not like that. I wouldn't. I guess it's different in Venus over there, but no, guys, we just
Venus?
Venus, Mars, men are from Mars, women are from Venus.
Oh,
you know?
you're
Thought it was
referring
women
to me
from
as the
Venus,
planet.
men want to go to Venus.
Right, that's it. But yeah, really the key is getting your friends involved. Put so many other cooks in the kitchen, and really when it's a one-on-one thing, I don't like to say it's not anybody else's business because you always need a person to vent to, but really knowing the answer in your heart is all you need to know, and being confident in that enough to make a decision on it, and without getting every friend involved because then it gets crazy.
Yeah. And I would just say learn about yourself going into the next one. Don't be with someone with the qualities that the last one might have had that didn't work out.
Yeah.
And don't settle. Don't settle.
Don't settle, girls. Empowerment.
Word.
You know what? One of my ex-boyfriends always said relationships are about sacrifice, and we would argue about that because I said no, they're not about sacrifice. They're about what's the C word?
Compromise?
Compromise.
There's a few.
That could have taken a bad turn.
There are a few.
Thank you.
It's about a lot of them.
It's about compromise, and I think that was
The
like
sacrifice,
a
I
big
think,
thing
no, I
too.
think
And
that is-
I think that when one
No.
person is asking you to sacrifice, then
Means
that
you're
will-
losing,
Yeah, you're
and that's
losing,
not good.
and that's how a relationship fails.
And you feel like you're losing, and you're like, well, I'm losing for this person.
Yeah.
What the heck, you know?
Like-
Yeah.
And then it becomes
Compromise.
you're keeping score, and that's like,
Yeah.
well, I did you a favor, now you owe me a favor. No, you just.
So that's something I learned too. Like, don't ever ask someone to sacrifice for you. Just try to work out an agreement between each other, and you can avoid future fights.
What about you, Ryan? What are some things that you took away? That
As far as going to friends and things, it's always to vent is different than to get their opinions and affirm being right, and to refuel yourself to go restart the fight and be like, no, take a stronger stand and just like keep it going more than. Not that I ever did that. It was never my fault. I'm in Brittany's boat.
No.
So
Never is. It's hard to talk about this when
I have no
You're
experience.
never
I
at
have no
fault. I have no
experience in such a
experience in
situation. No,
Well-
I definitely did that where I would, like I said, I would bring up things and prove being right, which was irrelevant because if you're so focused on being right,
Yeah.
You're
like, yes, I'm right, and like your whole world is ash around you. Finally. You're never gonna be right, Ryan.
No
Just gotta-
celebrating.
No celebrating. You never celebrate a win to anyone you're with.
Unless you're the winner.
Unless it's your friends, then you can just rub it in their face all day because whatever, they'll be back. Relationship, no, you can't do that.
Well, I think we should end before Ryan starts bringing up old failed relationships and crying on the set. It's okay. Thanks for tuning into A Ship Called Relation. I'm Brittany,
I'm Chris.
And I'm Ryan.
and we'll see you next week.